Hi guys, Keith Arkenberg Farms. It is second week of May, and it has just been ridiculously hot and windy out here. I'm sure we're probably picking up some feedback on the mic there. So I get back behind the high tunnel here, I have a little bit more block. But yeah, I mean, it's been like 90s all week, which 2 weeks ago it was in the 60s and low 40s. So it's been a little bit of a shock. Got some stuff bolting around the farm, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Today, we're moving into, there we go, into the cat tunnel. And we are going to harvest some head lettuce, and I'll show you how I prep it and get it ready for market. So I've already been working on harvesting some head lettuce out. We typically do 4 varieties. We do a romaine, only in the spring, because it does not look good the rest of the year. We do Bergams slash, I can't even remember all the different ones we do. But it's basically a Bergam, it's a big green leaf. We do a red leaf, which is a Cherokee. We do what we call a red or greenish butter. They don't get quite as red inside of the tunnels. Say, I believe we call it a Kegelane or Kegligan or something like that. I mean, it's a good hand-sized lettuce. Let me zoom out real quick. There we go. So now you can kind of see the comparison. Like this one, that's a big giant head. These are about, I don't know, soccer ball size. The reds, I've taken most of the big ones, but that's about the size you're looking for. And then the romaines, we've got some more down here, right there. So it's just starting to stalk up in the center. We're not aiming for a core, we're aiming for all of the leaves. See, there's another ones. They're big, they're just not very red right now. So before we start harvesting anything, we get the correct number of totes, get them on a cart, bring them down here. Most important part, always grab your harvest knife as well. We're actually using ceramic knives. I find that it does not brown the bottoms. They're great for that purpose. Only downfall is they can break, so you gotta be very careful, and never store them in the harvest tote because you won't know they're there and they fall out, and these things are sharper than sharp. Next step, I'm gonna have to mount this somewhere. I'll show you harvesting out one of these heads. Now for harvesting, just take our harvest knife, we gently pull back at the base, give it a nice quick cut. From there, we turn it over and we look for the bad leaves. So you got a bad leaf and a bad leaf. We leave the ones that are pretty much good and intact on it. Now, you can see there's a little bit of stalk left on it. We trim that back, but you don't trim too far or you'll start dropping more leaves, which we'll still lose some leaves when we rinse these off. The one thing is, this time of year, you really can't see them, but there are aphids and dead aphids in here. Inevitable on the farm this time of year. So next, if these were perfectly clean like I would love them to be, I would bag them right here in the field, but instead I'm gonna have to rinse the aphids out. So now we just kind of gingerly place them in the box. We kind of work our way around the outside, and that kind of keeps them from crushing over on each other. And you'll start to see the holes. I always put all of mine upwards when I do this. I don't flip them over. I find they sit better like this. Once we're done harvesting, slap our lids on, grab all of our totes back onto the cart, and then we'll go up there and wheel our way up to the pack house and work from there. Now we're up here in the pack house. Now this step again is completely unnecessary if your heads are good and clean. The only reason I'm doing this is because they have a bunch of aphids in them. Through the early spring, it's inevitable I stop them as soon as I spot them, but they always start to build up, and the dead ones build up, and there's little white carcasses and they're molting, and yeah, all kinds of good stuff, which I don't like to leave on them. So I'm going to demonstrate our cleaning process. So I take the head in my hand and then I go straight down, and you'll start to see it bubble. That happens a lot more with the romaines than any. Once it stops bubbling, I flip it over, and I'm holding on to the base of it so I don't break any more leaves, and just kind of shaking it underwater. I do that and kind of move it around and see if more stuff's coming out. And from there, pull it out, quick couple tosses, and then over to our drying screen. With this, I'll actually have it set the fan on 2. It's pretty humid out here. I'm just trying to get the moisture off the outside. I'm really not trying to completely dry them. Then after we do that, we'll go ahead and bag them, which typically I do right in the field. So I'm going to keep working on this, and once they're dried off enough, we'll start bagging them. So from that one rack of lettuce, this is how much gunk came out of them. And they're all just little itty bitty pieces and parts of dead aphids, live aphids. There's a whole gamut in here. But that is the only reason why I am rinsing them. I don't want the customer to have that come out in their sink. They know that we are organic and we try our hardest not to spray anything. So they do expect a little bit of insect damage, but people just don't like to see bugs. So now we've got our lettuce pretty much dry. We're not looking for bone dry. What we use next are just regular produce bags like you get in the grocery store. Come on a roll like this. You go, you open it up, make sure your hand's dry. Mine's a little wet still. Put your hand into the bag. Grab your head by the base, turn it inside out around it. And there we go. Now, if I'm selling these at the farmer's market, I'll actually leave them just like this. That way they have a really nice appearance sitting on the table. They're nice and green, and they're protected from the winds because we have such horrible winds here. Our booth actually faces north and they come from the south, so we're protecting everything on the back. You can stack them up like this and everything, they still look good. If they're going off to another vendor or individual, I will take them, squeeze the air out, give them a twist, give them a twist tie. 3. And there we go. There's your final package. Now that packs down a lot better, the leaves don't get damaged, and it can go into our totes and into the walk-in. Well, I got a lot more work ahead of me, getting the rest of these lettuces clean, dried off, packed, and ready to go. So, hope y'all like what you saw today. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to go over to arkenbergfarms.com, scroll down the bottom, digital tools and training, a bunch of cool stuff down there, spreadsheets for doing all kinds of stuff. Some are paid for, some are free. There's farm management, there's field calculators for fertilizer, all kinds of good stuff. So thank y'all, have a good day.